And
Hello!
welcome back, Anya.
Yeah! Welcome back! Welcome, guys, to Season 5, Episode 2. Oh my God, Season 5 na. I'm so sad I missed the first episode of Season 5. I heard it was an exciting one.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. The Gabby and Faye, and we talked about it, and we announced. Of course, we announced the that we're going to have a 2021 nationals, diba?
Yes! Oh my gosh,
So
super
so
exciting.
and we have more clues or teasers for you at the end of the show. So dapat dun lang kayo,
Yeah.
intay nyo lang. So
Yeah,
of course.
that's right. Kailangan, you guys have to keep on watching every episode of Season 5 kasi there's going to be a lot more of surprises when it comes to the 2021 nationals. And, daming mga pa-Easter eggs. Well, hindi mo siya technically Easter eggs. Actually, we'll just announce things. So
Right.
exciting. I'm so excited. I wish I
Right,
could
and
reveal it
also,
all.
yeah, and the boys who were with me last week, and then ikaw wala. So this week, ikaw lang nandito,
Feeling
and then the
ko,
boys,
nag-iiwasan lang kami eh. Joke.
oh nga, pakipot pa kayong lahat eh. So, so Evan, who's in Singapore, will follow, said he'd follow, so hopefully he can make it. And VJ, of course, our host with the most, will also follow. He's taking care of some domestic issues, diba? But we have an old friend who will be guesting with us tonight. So para siyang guest host, parang bisita-bisita lang, come for konting
Proof of
snacks,
life.
gano'n.
Ganun
Diba?
lang.
Proof of life, gano'n. So let's bring her in this early, diba? So we can go through the show.
Yeah. Hindi naman others
Since-
ang ating guest.
Tsaka ano na siya eh, parang kilalang-kilala na sa buong cheerleading community dati pa.
Of course. Nakakahiya
Mga
pag hindi pa siya kilala.
Oh, it's the famous judge. The famous judge, the famous coach. Before, she cheerleader for LaSalle and cheerleader for CSA, I think. I'm not
Yes.
even sure. I think she'll clarify. So, without further ado, let's bring in Coach Bianca Valencia, who's joining us tonight. Hello, Bianca.
Hi, Coach!
Hi!
Syempre naman.
Siyempre, parang cheerleader forever ang peg. Ganon.
Kilalang feeling naman yan. Hindi ako kilalang kilala yun, guys. I'm just lang. Part of the first.
Metro Manila lang daw.
Yes, mga circa something.
Yeah, so
23.
May yung comment ni Coach.
Yeah. Si Coach Archie, one of our first commenters. Yeah.
Agad na lang. Kala ko si Rabia na. Coach, busy pa.
No,
We're so...
Ibang level siya.
What was that issue na umiiyak siya? Can you enlighten me? I don't watch Miss Universe, sorry.
Yung original costume niya was really nice. Parang the train was supposed to be very long, yung parang wings, ganyan. And then may headdress siya dapat na the rays of the sun to represent the Philippine flag. Pero there was, sinabi lang naman niya sa video na there was an accident and like, gusto ko yung asawa ko pa yung nag-update sa akin. Yung madugudugudo sa stockings. May mga ganon. And then it ended up when she came out na super nipis nung wings na parang technically didn't look like wings. It looked like a feather duster na malaki. I'm sorry, please don't hate me. I'm just describing it. And then the train, super ikli. As in, naging kasing ikli siya ng cheer skirt. So the train was gone. Okay. So parang, I don't know what happened. She didn't really dwell upon it. But basically, yun. And she wasn't able to wear the headdress, the sun. So yun.
Oh, really?
So sayang. When I saw what was supposed to be the whole costume, it looked nice naman. Pero nasira nga. So nasayang yung effect nung pa-wings, ganyan. Kasi nga napunit. Napunit or naputol, I don't know. But yun.
So napunit siya.
She didn't say na napunit siya. Sabi lang niya, there has been an accident. Yun.
What?
But yes, she did
Wow.
well and she's very pretty.
But
I
it's
agree.
nice. I saw like the actor sort of telecast. Maganda pa rin naman
Right.
siya.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been nicer had it been the entire costume, diba? Pero, I mean, she still did it well naman na kahit she had to work with what she had. So, okay pa din.
Yeah, they saw it like this.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
she
so
was supposed to have
bawas
like a headdress na sun, the Philippine
Mm.
sun.
and then putol the skirt
Oh.
If you saw the full body na photo na putol.
Oh, okay. And that's why
Kasi
she was
dapat,
supposedly kaya umiiyak. Kaya she was crying.
yeah, I
and
mean,
she-
kung ako din yun, di ba? Parang ang ganda ng vision for the costume, tapos nasira. Siyempre ako din maiyak ng ganun. No? But yun nga, I mean, still
Yeah.
looks
Yeah.
great. Come on.
She probably
Yeah.
held all the stress before she went out, and then after she did her thing, after niya mag-perform, siguro doon na lumabas yung parang luha niya na parang, you know, this would have been better, but parang gano'n.
Yeah.
So she was what the sorry, I'm not a designer nor am I very fashionable. Okay, but so the peg of the designer of her costume is what, butterfly, like a Philippine butterfly or something, or no?
Parang, I guess parang the Victoria's Secret wings type. I mean, yung ganong peg. I think
Right,
na-achieve
right,
naman.
right.
Yun nga lang, yung may accident nga lang nangyari. I mean, she didn't really specify na how it happened. But, yun. I mean, but she still looks stunning.
Yeah. Parang hindi secret yung
Yeah,
peg
she's still
because the skirt was much shorter than it would have originally had been. But I think if she had the longer, like the original length and then the headdress, maybe it would have been sort of like, like in my mind, parang carnival theme-ish, parang ganon. But, wala eh. You have to pivot.
yeah, again, and then you have to smile, no? It's a lot like cheerleading, no? Kahit anong mangyari, ngiti ka lang.
Yeah,
Walang-
exactly.
Interesting. So, but this affects her overall score, I would assume. Or
No daw.
no?
It has no bearing daw on the actual scores. Parang it's just a segment
Showcase.
daw to showcase your parang culture
country.
and
Oh, so sort of like a theme in the UAAP.
alam ko, but I read it somewhere today.
Invested tayo, di ba? I mean, honestly, I wish I
Yeah.
could take a leave on one day. Yok.
Oh God, we're so invested.
Okay, wait. To focus on our own Rabia, di ba?
Yes.
Our guest, sabi ni Archie nga, Rabia daw. Hoy, Archie, mag-training ka na, Archie, ha?
But thank you, Coach, for tuning in.
Right, ito, isa pa. Mark Ken, vote sa Lazada po para manalo.
Ayun.
Ganun ba yan?
Yes,
Ganun ba yan,
go.
Lazada? Yeah. Okay, so, anyway, Bianca Valencia, wait, I have something here for you.
Ayan na siya! Yay!
Like long-awaited. Because I don't think people know na this was parang a year in the making.
Yeah, it was. So
Nobody
you
knows.
took the exam a year ago, right? January 2020, right? Yeah.
I took the exam along with Coach Lee J, Coach Mick, Coach Lian, and others from Korea and Chinese Taipei. In early 2020, right before, tama ba ako? Right before COVID. Tama ba ako? Or maybe I got my timeline screwed up na. Pero we got it last year pa. We took it last year pa, but we had to wait a year before we actually got the results.
Yeah, super tagal.
But then who knows what happened in between, diba? Pero, I don't know. I'm sure Itos knows more about what happened behind the scenes, why it took this long. But we were kind of on pins and needles while waiting for
Mm.
our, ano ba, level 2 ba kami o hindi?
Because people are kindly explain that. What is level 1? What is level 2? And why is it
Okay.
this red button?
Why
This
does
red
it have a
button.
color, right?
Yeah, why
Okay,
is it level 2?
so in ICU, when you take the judges course, each
Mm.
level has its own color. So level 1 is green, and level
Mm.
1, you know if you pass level 1 on the course during the course itself. So level 1 is basically very fundamental. So it's basic talaga, like rules, what's the difference between level 1 and level 2 and level 3 from level
Okay.
4, and so on. Now kasi there's level 7, whereas previously it was only until level 6. But then now they changed it to level 7. So just the differences between each level and then what the different stunts is allowed for each
Mm.
level. So under level 1 judge, it's really more of a written exam. So they walk you through what the sort of the rules is, what's allowed and what's not allowed per level, and
Okay.
then you have to take an exam on the day itself. And then if
Okay.
you pass that exam, which you find out on the day of, then
Mm.
you'll know if you pass level 1. So level 1 is green, and then level 2 is red. Tama ba,
Parang
Hertz?
mga
Red
ano,
ba?
parang mga belt lang sa taekwondo or karate.
Yes,
Correct.
correct,
Correct. Correct.
correct.
Yeah.
So
Ayan.
yes, so that's
Yeah.
that's a picture after we all finished the course. So we all were
This is
holding up our level 1 pins.
so
Kasi,
this is the green. This is the green.
yes. So the certificates that we were holding, it's because we completed the course. But at
Mm.
this point, we know that we already passed level 1. So wala naman sa amin bumagsak. Thank goodness
Mm.
ng level 1. But then level
Mm.
2 kasi you don't find out on the day off. You only
Okay.
find out if you pass level 2 because they have to send your scores to headquarters pa, to Mike Cooper in ICU.
Mm.
For further, I don't know, examination siguro and validation. And then
Right.
you'll find out if you pass level 2.
Okay. So take us through what is the difference. I mean, take us through your level 1. They just
Mhm.
it's in essence it's a seminar.
Yes. So level 1 is
Okay.
basically a fast-paced seminar. So they get right into it. So on that's I think on a Friday, kasi the entire judges course is 3 days. So on a Friday, they take you through the fundamentals of what's level 1, level 2, level 3 until 7 in ICU, and then what stunts are allowed per level. And
Right.
then afterwards, you take the written exam. So on the written exam, you have a time limit. And then once you complete the exam, you find out if you pass. So once you
Mm.
pass, they give you right away the results. The results is actually online. So you know right then and there if you pass. And then
Okay.
afterwards, at the end of the entire session, that's when they give you all of your certificates and your pin. So at this point, we only had level 1 pa, because level 2 was still to be determined. So yeah. So
Oh,
level 1 is more of a seminar, while level
right.
2 involves more of the mock judging and actual, like what they actually take into account when they judge.
And not all people get to level 2, right?
Yes. Yes. So it's really,
Okay.
you have to conform to their what they think is this particular score, their standards, how they look at stunts, how they look at how they quantify the number of stunts, the difficulty, etc. So you have to conform to them. What's nice though about ICU judging is you're allowed to discuss while you're judging. So you're allowed
Oh,
to sort
okay.
of exchange notes, parang ganon. So you kind of at least know na parang, did I see it right? Did I see it was a QP, not a trophy, not a target? So you can do that. So it's actually, the feeling is like you're actually judging on the day off. It's just that you're just mock judging. But the feeling in the course is at least you are the panel of judges altogether. So you can exchange notes and just make sure like you're on the same page in terms of what you saw, how many you actually saw,
Yeah.
etc.
Yeah. So I'm just showing Joe Jackson, one of our
Hi, Joe.
originals.
Hi,
Joe,
Joe. Thank you for being
I really,
online and
yeah,
not
he's,
getting
he's,
tired of
he's
our
watching.
faces.
Hey,
Yeah. So
Joe.
so 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 I don't know. Si Mark Prado was commented nakakalito yun. I don't know what you meant, Mark. Can you elaborate? What exactly you meant by what's nakakalito, so we can clarify. So on the first day, sorry, because I haven't taken it, right. So on the first day, they in essence they just tell you what the ICU judging is about,
Yes,
right.
yes.
And,
And it's so much more than that. It's what the
mm,
ICU judging is about, what they expect of you as a judge, what you're supposed to wear as a judge, how you're supposed to conduct yourself as a judge.
oh,
Should
okay,
you
okay,
be,
okay.
yes, should you be invited in one of the competitions abroad, etc. Because you're essentially representing ICU.
Yes.
Um, so it's the fundamentals of the rules and level judging, but more than that, it's also representing ICU.
Boss, nakamute ka. I know you guys are tired of hearing that all the time.
I
But
think you're on mute.
yeah.
Sorry. I'm looking
Oh,
for I'm looking for pictures from the previous. Sorry. Uh, yeah. See, here's Joe. Always tune in when I can. Can't wait to come visit. Can't wait to
yes.
come visit you all or
You?
whatever.
Is
Yeah.
y'all?
Is it
It's too
y'all?
it's too early in the morning, Joe.
Have
You're
some
spelling
coffee.
still. Yeah.
We'll just assume it's y'all.
Yeah. So sabi ni Mark about the mock judging. So I don't know do you understand what he meant? Sorry. Bianx.
Well,
You
I'm
wanna take
sure
this?
it's, if you're pretty used to the NCC rules and the NCC way of judging, which is elements, based on elements, then I'm sure mabibigla kayo dun sa, in one way or another, nakakabigla yung ICU, because ICU is not based on elements. ICU, you're looking at everything. So it was also an adjustment for me, I have to admit. So like all these years, I've been a judge for NCC for so long, and I've been used to elements
Mm.
judging. So sometimes it's not just basic elements, but sometimes I've been judging stunts or pyramids. But you're only looking at that.
Right.
But then when I took the judges course for ICU, then surprise, you have to look at everything. I mean, I guess it's okay na rin na because I had a cheer background, so you kind of know how to look at everything in a
Right.
way. So
Yeah.
it's okay. So it was an adjustment, but it wasn't as big of an adjustment. You know what I mean? And also I had that judging background also. I mean, if you're a first time judge, then probably you would have to look at several routines before you get the hang of it. But yes, compared to NCC judging, I can understand if someone would find the ICU mock judging a little bit nakakalito, because it's totally different. You're looking at everything, but their standards is also very clear. So it's nakakalito because you have to adjust, but it's not nakakalito because it's not clear. You know what I mean? They
Yeah.
make it
I mean,
clear for you during the course.
yeah, kumbaga parang there's still a rubric of sorts that you still
Yes,
need to follow. It's just that
yes,
you just have to look at everything. So I
yes.
guess yun lang yung
And what's
nakakalitong
nice
factor.
also, before you even go to the mock judging part, you have already gone through so many routines and you walk through them one by one, all together as a group. So, and we go through everything. We go through Team Canada, Team USA, different divisions. So, all girl, co ed, level 5, level 6, level 7. So, um, yeah, so by the time that you do the mock judging, which is kind of like the last sort of test, by then you would have gone through several routines already and that's by day 2 and 3. So, and you compare the routines in level 5 versus, sorry, when I joined kasi the judges course, they changed it na kasi. So there's a level 7. So level 5 and 6 are kind of like similar. So they make it clear naman what's the difference between level 5 and 6 from a level 7, which is like a Team USA or Germany versus a level 5. So they make it clear naman. It's just that you have, like any mock judging, you have to look at several routines, and then you kind of get the swing of things, or parang
Yeah.
you kind of get into the, okay, so ito pala yung tinitignan nila, etc.
Right. And I think ano naman din it goes with anything na even judging practice talaga. I mean,
Yeah.
you really don't expect yourself to get everything in the first try. Talagang you really have to go over it talaga and really
See,
train yourself.
I watched, don't get me wrong, I watched the IC Worlds, not as a judge. I watched it live. And this one was just as an audience. So I watched it. So I've seen all of these routines already. But then now that I've taken the course after, syempre, you have to look at it with different eyes because you went through
Right,
the
right.
course. You're actually looking at, okay, how do they actually execute that stunt? How many? Um, what was the difficulty? And then you're also looking at tumbling. You're also looking at dance. You're also looking at tosses, etc. So yeah,
Yeah. And I think ano naman siya, I mean, at least in the cheer world, it's a good accreditation to have. So you have that like flexibility. And 'di ba?
Right.
Parang I mean at least with your kumbaga another leaf in your laurel when it comes
yes,
to your cheer career.
another feather in your cap, I guess. But
Yeah.
I like to think of it as it's nice to kind of master cheer in your own country, but it's a different ball game na kasi when you actually see what cheer is like in different countries and what the standard is like, what the style is like, what the technique is
Right,
like.
right.
So you think you're good, but you realize after when you see all the other countries na they're doing it just as fast as you or maybe faster. So me as a judge, obviously I don't cheer anymore and I don't coach, but me as a judge, at least I appreciate this opportunity to kind of like level up my knowledge and my skills in terms of judging. So at least on the international level. And it's nice also what
Yeah.
ICU offers because ICU kind of, because cheer is so different per country. The culture is different, the style is different, but it's nice that there's ICU to sort of level out that standard. So when you talk about
Right.
international standards, at least we all know we're all speaking ICU. So, and as a judge, at least you're on that sort of same playing field.
Yeah. So yan, mga ating viewers na, you want to
Eh,
go at an international level.
yeah,
You know where to start. O, di ba?
There are some. I'd like to say hello, shout out to, of course, Joe was there, but and then big day today. every Friday. I guess is very busy for him in Pittsburgh. It's Pittsburgh pala. It's a Pittsburgh shorthand for y'all.
Ah,
Yins.
Uh,
cool.
is that the lingo?
Okay.
Okay, so
You learn something new every
something
day.
new. Okay.
Yeah. And then see Aljen, who also took the course, I think last year, one of the first one. Hello.
Hello.
He's based in Davao, of course, and he will be helping us recruit teams for the nationals, right, Aljen? And then we have our friend from Cebu, Cilian
Hi,
Palenio. Who,
I took the
Hi,
course with him.
yeah, he's
Hindi ko
also a level
siya.
2 judge. Yes. He's also a level 2 judge. So, hi, Lian.
Trivia.
Mm,
With
mm.
Coach Lian, for level 1 on the written exam, he actually got the highest score out of all of us.
Wow. So, Lian,
diba?
you're officially a cheer nerd. That's
Cheer
your
nerd.
new
Cheer
yeah.
genius.
Yeah, cheer genius. that's your title, Lian. Huh? Congratulations, Lian. So he also is level 2, and his certificate is with me. We will start shipping that out to them so that they can get, they can hold it in their hands. The other guy,
Yay.
si Alfie Cueva,
Cueva.
also
Yeah.
also got his today. Syempre, hindi siya makahintay, so dumaan siya sa bahay to get his certificate. So
Kaya pala.
congratulations. Mm.
Sabi ko pala
The other,
kinukuha.
dumaan siya dito. Tapos yung co-host natin na parating late, si Lee J, has yet to get his certificate. And
Baka
then
nagbabike
si
ka
Mick,
kasi on the way dyan. Di mo lang alam.
I
Mag-host na
Okay.
siya dyan with you.
yeah, tapos si Bianca also, of course. We will try to get it to you guys. And then si Mick Bustamante.
Di ba
Mick
pwedeng
Bustamante.
ilawa move or i-grab?
Excited.
Joke lang.
And last but not least, si Evan, who's in Singapore. He just missed it. So now, hawak ko yung certificate niya with
Oo
his
nga.
pin here. So,
Another
So-
shipment.
Sayang.
maghintay siya 1 year para mabigay ko sa kanya.
Grabe,
So-
tagal lang niyang inantay. Tapos yung another year pa. Diba, umuwi ka na nga. Oh,
Oh, congratulations.
Firma ni Itos isend, sa kanya isasend.
Oo nga. So, congratulations, guys. A new batch of ICU Level 2 coaches. The validity, I think, will be extended, should be extended, because of what happened here. And we're going to work on that. So, the ICU is excited. They're offering online accreditation now for
Wow.
anybody here who wants to join. So, we're finalizing.
For all courses.
For all courses, but we're still finalizing the deal with, because they have to have deals with the national federations of each country. So we're finalizing the deal with PCA as we speak. So we will announce that soon enough, right? So that's good. In terms of, I wanted to ask Bianca. You think can you judge level 7 already if you're a level
No.
2 judge?
No, I don't think so. The premise is, once you get your level 2 accreditation, and this is what they told us, once you get your level 2 accreditation, then the challenge now is you have to build on your hours as a judge. So as much as possible, you have to gain experience judging other competitions. So not just national, but also abroad. So which is what the PCA's mandate is, right? So working with ICU, it's about getting different ICU judges to judge elsewhere, and then that's where you kind of log in your hours. Because I would assume that before you can actually have the expertise to judge worlds, you would have gone through so many different types of competitions already. And it's the same with NCC if you think about
Right.
it. Before we actually consider any judge to judge the finals, because that's what we consider the best of the best, they would have gone through different mini competitions like the regionals or others before we can actually consider them as a finals judge. So it's the same concept for ICU, except this one is in a very magnified scale because we're talking about the world.
Right.
And the expectation is also very different. So I would assume that by the time you actually get the credentials to judge world, your eye is very sharp, dapat, in terms of what how you look at routines. Because these are judging like Chinese Taipei and Team USA. That's not a joke. So, like for me, who's like a newly minted level 2, I wouldn't. Like for me, I would rather get as many hours as I can, get as much experience as I can. That way, when I'm actually confident, then okay, worlds it is.
But the issue there is building up your hours, right?
Yes, especially now with COVID, right? So
Yeah.
that's the downside when we got our accreditation. So right after our accreditation, then COVID happened. So the application of what we actually learned can't happen right away.
Right.
So we have
Yeah,
to wait.
that's right.
So now the problem with us, kami na Coach Lian, Coach Lee J, Coach Avan, is trying to remember what we learned.
Yeah.
And just making sure na by the time we actually get sent out somewhere,
Yeah.
then it's still fresh on our minds,
Yeah.
or at
Right.
least to ICU standards.
Yeah, kasi yun nga it's practice eh. So
Yeah.
even if 'di ba, you've already been accredited, iba pa rin nga if you keep doing it. Hassle
Mm-hmm.
lang the pandemic right now.
And it's so hard because we're talking about different countries. So there's all these logistics that come with it. Not like if you're talking about national competitions, it's very easy pa rin. So you can still sort of build your experience nationally. But again, it's different kasi on an international sort of level. Especially if that competition is using ICU rules, right?
Right. I wanted to ask. So do you is if you can't judge at the worlds, how do you think you can build up your credentials to be able to be considered for the worlds? Is it
So
Asia first? Europe
mhm.
first? Ganun
So
ba?
one of the examples they told us, this is Clint. One of the
Yeah.
examples he gave us is you can also start with your region. So because we're in Asia, and luckily we're also in Asia because we're very active compared to the other regions, I would assume. So in Asia, there's a lot of competitions going on. So he actually suggested that if there's an opportunity for you guys to be considered, and if they're looking for any judges, like in China or in Malaysia or in Singapore or elsewhere, take it. So if you can
Mm.
take it, then that can build your hours. Um, the challenge is with the Philippines is there's a lot of us that can be considered, and it's not just me; it's also the previous batch that
Right. Right.
qualified
Yeah.
for level 2.
Right.
So but I guess that's a good problem.
Mm.
Yung may surplus ng mga accredited judges, but yeah, so it's all about looking for opportunities to build your hours.
Right. Well, also for the PCA, we're going to start to build a database already and log in the hours of all of these ICU judges. So um, when things get back to startup, definitely we will be pushing the ICU accredited judges to be judging around Asia, right? So we can start
Yes.
logging in those hours and vice versa, because their
Yes.
judges have to log in. That was the plan before COVID happened, right? So
Hassle
we
talaga
had to
si
start to
COVID
build.
eh. We
Yeah.
had so many
But
plans.
but I wanted to ask also. This is Clint and his wife Lian. They were the ones. They're based in Guangzhou, diba?
Mhm.
In China, and they come over to help judge. This was the second batch, and there's Bianca receiving her judge's education level 1 certificate. Very happy. So that's the only thing. I wanted to ask for those like me and Anya who have no judging experience. Anya is more lamang because she was a cheerleader, right? She actually
Yes.
did those cheerleading
I
stuff.
competed.
Yeah, she competed.
Competed
So yeah,
past
and
tense.
she was and she was a coach in NCC, so she knows at least where. Um, do you recommend that we take the judges education course, or are we just whistling past the graveyard in terms of hoping to be level 2? Kumbaga level 1 lang aasamin natin, di ba? Judges education. What do you think?
Yeah, don't, pero like for me kasi it depends on where you're coming from. And it also depends
Right.
on what you actually need to learn. So like for Anya, for example, she has already experienced cheer,
Mm.
competing. So it's
Yeah.
actually easier for her to get the concepts and to get the
Yeah.
difficulty, why one
Right.
stunt, why one transition is easier or harder than the other, etc. So should she want to pursue judging, then it would be easier for her. For someone with no experience cheer, or at least competing, I think ICU might have other courses before the judges course.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I would like for me, because judging, you're looking at a particular routine already. It's different.
Right.
It's
Right.
different when you're actually competing. So it takes a certain eye. And again, that eye you have to train also. So I think if you
Yeah.
have no experience, then you have to start. I wouldn't jump to judging first. I would probably take something more basic.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I
see,
think
at least Joe says, it's really
it's
easy.
really
See,
easy. Yeah, kasi and boss, kasi I remember like syempre noon as a student, wow.
mm,
Na 'di ba parang every competition, syempre for NCC especially 'di ba, you have the score sheet. So at least from there, parang our coach would talk to us, ito yung score natin and this is how each element fared against all of the other schools. So syempre kami, napanood
mm,
din naman namin the routines of the other schools, right? So like, tumatatak sa isip namin na, okay, that kind of pyramid with like whatever transitions and how they moved from one pyramid to another, how they did it, that's what got them that score. So, I mean, siguro, I guess if you were paying attention to your coach
yeah,
also, I guess, kasi that's how lang, I mean, yun naman din talaga yung gauge nung coach mo how to improve yung routine to know where you scored least and improve
mm,
yung skills ng students mo or at least yung mga incoming mo na mga recruits para you can build your team up and get the maximum scores possible, diba? So,
Yeah.
it's, yeah, so to the students now who would want to probably judge in the future, listen to your coach when they discuss the scores. Yuck,
And
after
also
ng
no,
competition.
yeah,
if you're
you're
coming
right.
from
That's
an
that's
audience's
correct.
perspective, sometimes an audience might see something tapos sasabihin nila parang, di ba mas mahirap yon? But you as a cheerleader, you know kung ano yung mas
Mm,
mahirap. So, maybe to their
Yeah,
eye,
yun
they
din.
think it's more mahirap, pero you know what it takes to actually execute that stunt. So,
mm.
yeah, so if you have no experience, I would suggest something a little bit more basic before going into the judges' scores.
Join a cheer
Like
camp with us.
hosting.
Or
No, but
ano,
it's a
not hosting boss, cheer analyst. Yan.
Yeah.
cheer
Marami
analyst.
pa rin nun. The joke lang.
Oh my gosh. If you guys only knew how difficult it was. Kasi you needed, kasi ganun din, I guess I would say probably medyo close to ICU kasi you have to watch the whole thing and be able to pick out something that you can talk about. And then at the same time, you're also limited with what the network is just showing on the screen. So parang if yun yung pinakitang parang playback na slow-mo, parang kailangan mo tandaan anong ginawa
Mahirap din
niya.
yun, Mahirap din yun. It's
Mahirap yun.
on the fly. So, mahirap yun.
Yeah, and talagang literal,
and-
I was writing at the back of my script, like, ano yung ginawa nila per part, para just in case.
Sabi ko sa'yo, ang galing mo talaga. Kasi, ako yun, hindi ko matagayin. Kasi parang,
basta ako dati, siguro mga how many years ago, 5 years ago, I approached Paula and said, "Hey, you know what? What if I can judge? What if I should judge?" She just looked at me and smiled. And I never asked her again. So I guess that's
it's kind of also a blessing and a curse that you're in the Philippines. Kasi in the Philippines, maraming teams. It's such a big cheer community. We're all look, and daming may experience, so you can't just come in and
Right.
be a judge. Kasi
And
otherwise, because otherwise, yung mga tao, sabihin na, ano ba credentials niyan, di ba?
Right.
Also,
Actually, dito sa Pilipinas,
big community.
yeah, dito sa Pilipinas, kahit may credentials ka na, nagtatanong pa di ba?
Hindi ka pa rin credible.
Hindi ka pa rin credible sa kanila.
I would suggest cheer analyst probably to those who would want to get into it as a na walang alam. Kasi at least as a cheer analyst, you just know what it is. You don't need to score it.
Yeah.
Yun yung walang pressure. So okay yun sa akin.
You end up commenting on what the people actually look for. So parang, uy, okay yung stunt na yan. Usapan natin yan. So let's break it down. So,
No, but I think what this does, and you're correct, yeah. I mean, kidding aside, right? I've never wanted to judge. I know how difficult it is to judge, because especially with NCC, and Bianca knows this since the start, and Joe since the start set that whole thing in motion. Was that as judges, you're supposed to give your all to each team that competes. Meaning you're supposed to judge them to the best of your ability because you owe it to them.
That's the least you owe them. Yeah.
That's the least you owe them. So you have to give them all your expertise. Kahit bago yung team, kahit
all your
level 2 yung
expertise,
team.
your fairness, and your attention.
Right.
So you can't be distracted talaga.
Yeah, and it's good. I mean, I would recommend, of course, next time that there's an accreditation, hopefully in January, if things go well, I would push for Anya to be at least because that helps the analyst, that helps the writer, the host. I mean, it helps everything, and then even as coaches that, for example, what NCC did was when we standardized the local rules. Coaches now can show their kids where they scored well, where they didn't score well, and why. And so they grew up with that kind of system.
Whereas before, everyone was just in the dark, right?
Yeah.
It was very subjective because there was no real standard, and there was no. So now, let's say, for cheerleading in the Philippines, you only get NCC, or now we're developing an ICU core of judges, like what Aljen was suggesting. Also, like since before, we should organize it and systematize it. Is that the right word? Systematize. We organize it and put it into a system where we're able to count the number of hours, even judging local ICU rule competitions here. Right.
Yeah.
So
because in a way that's still getting experience, and that's just going back to like what you said with Anya being a cheer analyst, and it would benefit her also to take the course because the cheer analyst is what the people hear when they're watching a competition. So the analyst is what takes them through each stunt. So yes, my highlights, and then but with that highlights, na parang they can help people understand why this is
Right.
difficult, what it takes to actually execute this stunt, and why this was
Right.
difficult from the other routines. So,
Correct.
parang
Yeah.
when the results come out, parang okay. So it's kind of educating also the public, right, who
No,
have no experience whatsoever.
it's all about educating. It's all
Yes.
about educating their enthusiasm, right? I mean, that's the whole thing. So, an Anya would be able to say, okay, this is what the team is planning to do. This is what the judges will be looking for in this type of routine.
Mm-hmm.
Because she herself can say, okay, I went through
Yeah.
the judges course. And she's sort of, this is what you should look for. Why this scores better than the other score? Why
Right.
why this might be higher and things like that.
Yeah, and the analyst also is the one that communicates what the stunt is. So like for
Right,
an audience, hindi naman nila alam kung ano yung difference ng QP from a target.
right,
But then
Right.
for
right,
an analyst, you break that down. So that's a QP. Why? Because it's like this.
Yeah.
So you see how they mounted that stunt, parang, diba? And then there's all that slow mo that goes into the
Yeah.
highlights reel.
right.
So
Yeah. Actually,
and
sometimes nga they ask me parang, minsan pag parang siguro sila rin, I guess yun nga kasi walang cheer background, parang, anong okay daw i-replay? Tandaan ko yung routine. Wait a minute.
oh,
I'm a replay in my
This
head.
is
But yeah, you really
this
have to
is this is the
explain that.
product. This is the
Yeah.
production group you're talking about. Yeah,
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 sometimes. I
because
mean,
they have
like,
no say.
kasi, I guess siguro on a production perspective, especially, syempre, hindi naman may iwasan na you kind of repeat the stunt, right? I mean, kunwari, if meron kang kick double na toss, kung yun na talaga yung
Mm,
pinaka-maximum, I'm sure you'll be seeing a lot of kick doubles from different teams. So,
right,
syempre,
right.
parang yung umay factor ba, I guess, on
Yeah,
TV. So, just to make sure that
yeah.
they're able to play it up. So, yeah, it's also important that you know how to
Yeah,
tell things
well,
apart.
ideally, right? Remember when we started the NCC, we said for cheerleaders by cheerleaders, right? So the ideal whole setup, including the TV prod group, the marketing group from outside, are all ex cheerleaders, right? So the camera people, the producers, all of them, eventually they will all be able to do that. So it would be it's a vision, it's a dream, right?
pati
But before you
cameraman.
comment, wait, yeah, you never know. In the states, cameramen are not. They're highly paid. I mean, the level of technical skill is very high. So dito lang kasi they treat operators as rank and file, but there in the states, in there, you're highly skilled. So anyway, before we continue, I would like to pause for a commercial break, and we will come back with all. There are other interesting questions from our friends online, but I'd like to play a video, just a 1 minute video of the recently concluded day one highlights from Flow Cheer. Apparently, they have a stunt competition. So I'm not. Let's play that and take a breather. Then when we come back, we will have Anya's recommends, and then we'll continue the discussion. All right, music, music, music. Okay,
And
so
then
that was
that,
nice, no? This is the flow cheer. That was day one. I think you can go on YouTube and look at the other videos. They just concluded the USASF Worlds. So all of the videos are there, which I wanted to ask Bianca those questions also, because it's a US All-Star Federation. I don't know about the judging there. Let's see. But Anya Ray, welcome back to season 5, and you have your first product that you are going to push.
Yes, because it's my favorite. Actually, I guess, mag-isang taon na ba ako sa Belo? Syempre, I guess there's really more to discover about skincare. My passion. Wow!
Yeah.
But, among everything that I've tried so far, I have to say this is my favorite from this specific brand. If you can see it, ayan. It's Zane Obagi, or ZO for short. So it's yung oil control pads, because this is made out of salicylic acid, which for non-skincare people, that's something to combat the oiliness of your skin. That's why nga it's called oil control pads. What makes this different, I guess, with the rest of other toners that I've tried is because ZO kasi as a brand is medical grade. But it doesn't require any prescription. So honestly, you can buy this online or at our clinics. So these are 60 na soaked pads, already pre-soaked. And as you can see, yung isa dyan, the top is, it's half. So what I do lang kasi, since my face naman is not oily, I just get oily in my T-zone. I just, diba? I cut it in half lang. Para at least, yung 60 pads ko, magiging 120 pads. So that means it's good for 4 months. O, diba? So, it's, I think it's 3,600 pesos, I would say. If, tama ba? You can
Wow.
check it. You can check it at shop.belomed.com. But it's super worth it kasi even si Eos. So, sorry, what we do, we share one pad. I cut it in half. I use half of my face. Tapos kay Ace, binubura ko yung mukha niya with it. Yeah. Kasi siya yung oily. But it super helped kasi super nag-decrease yung oiliness niya. Like the feeling, like I would see naman, I would check his face. And then yung pimples niya rin nag-reduce. Especially when he needs to go out and buy groceries. Syempre, you have to wear your mask. So, syempre, mas susceptible siya to mask me because his face is oily all over, which super helped. So, super effective. No, kukita niyo yung dot dyan. Ayan, nagka-pimple na nga ako lahat. But, that's a different cause. It's called hormones also. But, if for oiliness lang, eto siya. Oil control pads, ladies and gentlemen. Shop.belomed.com.
All right, guys, check that out. Check that out. Highly recommended by
I need that.
the marketing head of Bello.
I need that because I'm oily and shiny. In our
Here.
internal meetings in NCC, you can see I don't look like this because I'm oily.
Diba? So, ayan, see, no, not so much shine. Sobrang nabawasan na siya because
You have to say that kasi.
Yeah, and
authentic.
And just, I guess, sorry, last lang. Okay, sobrang fun lang kasi niya tingnan. Kasi if you see it, nilabas ko na, gagamitin ko naman siya mamaya. If you see it, para siyang nag-exfoliate. Tapos when you rub it kasi against your skin, you'd feel parang may mga small na nagsasnag. So parang pinipick up niya yung dumi. Tapos makita mo parang may blackhead or may whitehead. Gross siya. But it works. It takes out the dirt for sure. So, yeah.
Okay, guys, check that out. Zane Obagi.
Yeah.
Obagi.
Or Obagi. ZO for short.
ZO at where can they shop online?
They can shop online at shop.belomed.com. Or if there's a Bello clinic near you can just go there.
Yeah. So if you want to be maputi like Anya and not oily. Yeah.
And not oily.
Yeah. Commercial. Okay. Back to the program. Bianx, there are some comments here. Sabi niya, Aljan is asking, ilang years nga po ba bago mag-expire ang accreditation?
I wouldn't know that.
I'm not sure, Aljan, but I think 2 years. But I will make sure I'll ask Clint. But like for this one, because of the extraordinary circumstances, medyo baka,
Sana naman.
yeah, kasi everybody has to relearn and rewatch everything, lalo na sa Pilipinas, because, we're not still allowed to practice together. So
Correct.
let's see. Um, there is a question here which leads me to my other question. So unahin ko muna yung akin because global to local. So we watched the world, the USASF Worlds, and the IASF, which is the club championships. How different is it to judge if you're accredited ICU level 2 judge?
How different is it to judge? Well, just basing off of the two sort of categories, I would say cheer kasi is more of mas level 5-ish kasi yun eh. But
Yung
in terms of
USASF.
judging, right, because they focus more on tumbling, they it's not so much partner stunts, although there is, but a lot of it is still group based. Whereas with Worlds, it's very clear which teams are in Premier, which teams are in Elite, etc. So you kind of know what you're expecting. Although, yes, it's kind of the same, I would assume, for USASF. Although, kasi with USASF, they're kind of all the same, not like with ICU, where there's different leveling kasi. And you know when that will happen. But watching USASF, they kind of all are in the same playing field for me. For me.
Okay. So, uh, which goes to my next question. I'm going to post Reginald Almazan, or one of our coaches that have been joining NCC. Sana ma-align na ang NCC rules sa ICU rules next season, if kaya na. Yeah. So there are many levels to this question which we've always tried to answer, no, Reggie.
And we've always talked about this in NCC.
Yeah, definitely the best would have to be a standardized rule na, towards ICU. The concern I have always has been that there should be more coaches accredited first. They should be taking all the ICU judges courses so that everybody has the same level, at least level 1, starting out, right? The reason we cannot shift it yet is because only a few coaches, tignan mo naman kung ilan lang nag-take ng ICU accreditation, ICU judges education course, and how many of them are actual coaches, right? Not all. We have the NCC guys, right? So, yun na nga. So that's what we're going to do, and we're pushing for that. Definitely, we will push for that. We will look for, because we know that the ICU judges course is not cheap, right? Bianca, I think it's about. We're going to do, and we're pushing for that. I think it's about 150 US.
Yeah, 150 to 200, I think.
Oh yeah, so $200.
Yeah.
So that's about 10,000 pesos. About. So that's a 2-day course. So you're looking at that. It's not cheap, but with the deal that PCA and ICU are talking now and trying to, because that was my concern. So we're trying to look for a way, and they understand that I want the whole community to be educated in the ICU, and then we can shift as a whole over one season. But right now, Reginald, mukhang malabo na next season. But
can I just add to that? Like,
Yeah.
while we're working that out, and I agree that that's the ideal situation, it also doesn't hurt that we keep doing what NCC is doing, which is elements based judging. Because there's also pros to this. I know some judges na parang, ba't di na lang kasi tayo mag-ICU, ganyan, ganyan, ganyan. But, for me kasi, yes, well, that's the dream. While we're working towards that, because there's still a lot of coaches and teams that have to get to that point, that have to get to that level, working on elements and not ignoring each element and the importance of each element in in a routine. And we always say this as judges in NCC, na a well-balanced routine is the best, where it's not heavily dominant on just stunts, on just tosses, on just pyramids, on just tumbling. It's a balance of, yes, of what your team can do in terms of skill level, but it plays also in terms of how you can creatively make up a routine based on what you can do, and also, not neglecting all the other elements then. So um at least it's a good training before we can actually reach ICU standards, because by the time we do ICU, that's ano na yan buo na yan yung tinitignan. So on the way there, it's nice that we're actually working on each element, and the coaches and the teams actually give importance to each element.
Well, there you have it, straight from the judge's mouth. What's important? So we have people who agree. It's true. See, Archie, of course, your number one fan, agrees with you, and then see Algin. Yeah. Oh, let's put up his comment. I can attest to what Bianca is explaining. We are not a tumbling team, but yeah, we managed to get 3. So yeah, elements are fine. The whole concept of category judging is so that we can mahihimay natin yung buong routine, diba? And then show the coaches and the kids this is what it is, and then they can strategize how to get more points
And
for each
about
level.
it also kasi, the ICU, parang it plays more with the more advanced teams, which is in the States, because they've been doing this for a long time. Tayo kasi, yes, we've been doing cheerleading for a long time, but the standards only came in, 15 years ago when NCC started. So we kind of have to work backwards from there. So while some people hate it, we still have to start from elements, because we have to get everyone on the same level, on the same playing field.
That's true. So there you have it, Bianca. So basic elements, si Bianca. So she would know these things. Coaches, makinig kayo sa kanya. Okay. The other thing is that I would like to ask also. So you've judged, you've seen the teams abroad. You've seen our teams. If you were in charge of the program, Team Pilipinas program, development program, Randall came out with a list. Did you see that list?
Yes.
His what do you call that list?
Dream team.
The dream team, assuming UAP dream team, because he had a certain design of a team that he wanted to, so he would get athletes that fit the design. What would you recommend, let's say, to the coaches, what to develop if we were going to compete and win? As a level 2 judge, what do you think we should develop?
Okay, so I had the privilege of going with Team Pilipinas 1 year to the World.
Before you answer, let's welcome our friend and our Johnny Come Lately.
Ayan. No, joke lang.
Good evening. Hello.
Just kape. Di ba galing ka office, supposedly?
Yes, I know. It's work from
Akala
home
ko
and duty at home. Lahat na.
akala ko pa-bike ka na sa San Juan eh, para kunin yung
True.
certificate.
Yeah. Huwag mo ako
No, no,
na.
no, no, no. Hello, good evening. Good evening, Bianca. Good evening, Coach Annika.
Yeah,
Good evening,
yeah,
boss. And to
yeah,
all of our viewers, magandang
yeah.
gabi. Huli
All
man
your
daw at
fans,
magaling.
CJ.
Huli man daw at magaling. Pep talk pa rin. Okay, nandito tayo. Alright.
Go, Bianx, you were
Alright.
gonna say.
Go ahead, Bianx.
Ano ba sinasabi ko? Joke lang. So if I were managing Team Pilipinas, well, okay. So going back, I said I had the privilege of joining Team Pilipinas to the Worlds in, I think it was 2017, right, boss?
Hmm.
Um, and before we left, I had snippets of how they were training, etc. So the question is, what would I do? Tama ba ako?
How would you recommend? What would you recommend in terms of how program? I mean, not overnight, syempre, but moving forward. In terms of what would you change? What would you maintain? All of this.
Well, we all know kasi ang dami-daming talented talaga sa Philippines. It's just not everyone is fortunate to actually find their own way to the worlds.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
So if I were Team Pilipinas, if everything is I guess if everything allows us to go,
Yeah,
money is
yeah.
not an object, ganon.
No,
Um,
yeah.
for me,
Parang dream team nga. Parang dream team.
right.
So,
Ako, for
no
me,
no money, no. Hmm.
for me, yes, we know who's good based on who we've worked before. Pero ako talaga,
Hmm.
I would do like a countrywide tryout talaga. For me.
Wow.
Because ang dami
Wow.
talaga dyan, lalo na in the far-off provinces, ang gagaling kasi talaga nila. They just haven't had that
Hmm.
opportunity.
Hmm.
And they wait for that opportunity to be seen by the scouts, diba? And sometimes, if they don't get that opportunity, sayang. So, for me,
Hmm.
I would do like a countrywide thing. And if NCC has the capacity to go through different places and actually scout for talent, like they would
Hmm.
for basketball, they would for all the other major sports, I would do that. That way, we really know na we have the best of the best talent talaga. And it's a balance. We know what we need. So if we know na we need more gymnasts, we know we need more big guys to do partner stunts, depending on where we want to compete, if it's level 5, 6, or 7, like Premier,
Hmm. Hmm.
then we know where to look. So for me, I would do, that's the biggest change, I guess, that I would do. Parang while I
Hmm.
know there's a dream team, but for me, I feel like there's still so much untapped talent
I agree.
in other places talaga.
No,
For sure.
agree. Yeah, it's just so you're talking about a program, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're
And
talking
then
about the Team
you
Pilipinas,
maintain, yeah, and you
right?
maintain that program moving forward. Kasi the thing with us is without that continuous support from
Hmm.
like a more parang like a body like the
Hmm.
NCC, without that continuous support to constantly parang allow them to train, allow them to get better, then we're always starting from scratch. So
Right.
if we get the
Right.
best of the best and we continue to you treat them like athletes talaga. So it's the
Yeah.
same
Hmm.
thing like you would treat an Olympic athlete. You scout them from
Yeah.
wherever they are, and
Yeah.
normally they're from far off talaga eh. 'Di ba? They're normally from like the
Yeah.
provinces.
They're
Kasi
always
nandun talaga
hidden gems. It's weird.
oo. Oo. You nurture it. You nurture it talaga and you build the program around
Hmm.
them, 'di ba? And then I feel
Hmm.
like that's where you get the most success. And
Yeah.
sadly, we haven't done that for cheer. But that's my idea. That's my dream.
Yeah. You really have to invest in the
Yeah.
people.
It's
Yeah.
right. It's the funding has always been even locally an issue, right? Um, those
And even abroad.
not even abroad. So not even the biggest sports here have that national training program. They say they do, but in reality, the funnel is not towards, for example, the national team. And you have
It's
to
not towards
consider the
athlete.
age. Yeah, meaning it's not funneled towards. I mean, there's a national high school competition, but it's not training high school kids to go to the national team.
Mm-hmm.
So the program is there. We've had that program for a while. I put together already, long ago. I put together a whole paper on it, but syempre the funding is big because you want the ideal, right? So, but like we all agree it's possible, and I think all the coaches here agree it's possible. The goal is to win gold, right? And then the next is get you guys to judge. Oh, I want to show this.
Aww. Ay, ano ba yan?
Kilij ba yan?
Sa akin ba yan, boss? Is that mine?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Well.
Joke lang,
Wow.
joke. Thank you. Congratulations to the newly certified judges. No? Coach Bianca. So, Coach Bianca is also certified. No? Si Coach Evan,
Coach Lij.
Coach Faye. No? Yeah,
Buti nga
Oo.
nakahabol ka, Coach Liji, kasi pinag-uusapan nga lang namin kanina. Dapat siya, level 2 certified mala reunion.
Mala-reunion talaga. Oo, sa sobrang
Pero
tagal.
yan.
Isipin mo, no, sa sobrang tagal ng luto na. January 2020 when we took that exam. Tapos ngayon dumating May 2021. It's almost 1.5 years, no, Coach Bianca?
Yeah.
In fairness, akala ko wala lang yun. Parang wala lang. Pero, okay. Very good.
I guess, di na kami pumasa.
Pero hindi.
I guess it's no.
Pero di ba, Coach Bianca, it's very tricky kasi alam mong kaya mo, but then
Yes.
again, iisipin mo tama ba? Kasi you have, just to give you a brief information about the courses.
Yeah. Ito na yung show natin. Ito na dapat yung show natin kanina.
Oy! Bakit? Hindi sunong ako? Dito.
You have to, like for example, di ba, we are a pool of coaches and, judges ng cheerleading dun sa ICU accreditation. But even if you already have the experience of judging, you already have the experience of coaching, you have to level, of course, yung scores mo in a way na you cannot be booted out. Di ba, Bianx? Kumbaga,
Yes.
it has to be para ka lang plus minus. And at the same time, meron siyang certain, kunyari, plus minus 5 ka lang. Pag nag-plus 6 ka, minus 6, kukwestiyonin ka eh. It's not na mali ka, no? Pero you will be questioned that why did you get that score? Why is that so high? Why is that so low?
Just to clarify what Coach Leach is saying, every time we would mock judge a particular routine, so ang mangyayari is we would watch the routine, we'll make notes, and then we'll all come up with our own scores.
Correct.
Ngayon, after every routine, we have to tell out loud what your score was. And you have to make sure na your score is within the range na ina-expect ng ICU for that particular level. If you're not within range, you have to explain why you're beyond the range or below the range.
Correct.
So if you're way off, then your score gets thrown out, which is sort of the last thing you want to happen as an ICU judge. It doesn't mean you're wrong. It just means na you're not aligned with the rest of the judges. And the target is you want to be aligned all the time with the rest of the judges.
And yun nga,
when you judge,
boss,
when you judge, do you judge? Do you talk to the other judge beside you and
Yes.
say, "Anong score mo?"
Yes. So you're free to talk. I was saying, Coach Leach kanina, na parang it's kind of like open notes. So habang nag-routine, while you're watching the routine, you can make comments. So parang, ano yun? Target ba yun? Or trophy ba yun? Or QP ba yun? Ganyan. Tama ba yung nakita ko? That was a rewind? Ganyan. Pwede yun. Para
Tsaka
lang
para
din,
ka
it
lang
keeps
nasa
your,
college talaga.
oo.
Para ka nasa college exam, open notes, pero lahat ng notes, no, wala dun yung sagot. Okay yun.
Oo.
Hindi kasi yun nga,
Yun
you,
talaga. Oo.
may concept ka eh. You already know the concept. You already know the levels eh.
Right.
Pero
Mm.
pag dumating mismo yung talagang
Pagka-dun ka
actual na biglang may fusion na lahat. Kasi yun nga,
When it's time to give a score,
oo.
if you're not all on the same page and you are the judge that gets thrown out, may ibig sabihin yun. Iba yung understanding mo.
Maaga ka alis ng competition. No? Uwi ka na.
Right. Yeah, and you know what? Now that we're talking about it, I remember lang yung siguro I guess a good exercise for, ano ba yan? Nalalaglag yung earphones ko. Ba't siya natatanggal sa tenga ko? Sorry.
Ano daw yun? Tutuli.
Malaki lang. Okay, wait. Masyado ng gross. Anyway, I guess a good exercise, it's kind of similar with how you guys did it. Syempre, iba naman to this can go for anything, no? But for us, kami ng husband ko, one day, we just decided to rank the board games that we have on hand. So there's this website where everyone refers to when they want to check yung ratings ng ibang tao, whether, to buy it or not. So we created an account and then listed all of the games that we own and then created a rating. So ganun din, may rubric yung website, 1 to 10. What does each number mean? 10 being the highest. And then, ganun. Nagsasabay kami. Sabihin ni Eos yung game. And then, 1, 2, 3, go. Sabay kami sasagot. Tapos, more often than not, parehas yung score namin. Or, kung off kami, parang 1 or 2, meron lang yung super layo na malalaman mo na lang na pag pinag-usapan namin, bakit ang layo nung sayo? And then, I'd think, parang, wala kasi cute siya. Pero hindi siya part ng rubric. So, I guess the idea behind it is kind of similar. So, kung meron kayong ranking dyan, kung saan sa TikTok,
similar. It's very similar. Yun nga lang, it's okay to do that. Ang pagka-explain sa amin when you take the courses, di ba, Coach Leach, it's okay to be the judge that gets thrown out once or twice.
Correct.
Pero
Once or
more
twice
than that, guys, what's wrong with you? Ikaw ba ang hindi nakakaintindi? Parang ganon. So that's what you want to avoid. So I guess in our batch, we weren't a big group eh. So it was nice na parang we were small enough na nakafocus kami.
Yeah,
and
correct.
and IC was able to really focus on each of us. But we were enough in terms of numbers na we were able to hear the different perspectives in terms of the scoring. Kasi one time or another, isa-isa rin kami yung nawala sa range eh. Right? So at one point, I was the one that was out of range. At one point, it was Coach Mick, it was Coach Leach, and then it was the ones from Chinese Taipei, etc. But it's interesting to also hear the rationale behind the scoring.
Yeah.
So yon. So and then it's kind of like mental notes na lang to take with you once you start judging the future or the next routine.
Tsaka nakakatakot pag kunyari matatapon ka, nakakatakot kung kunyari matatapon ka. Kasi sayang din $200 yun. Di biro yun ha. I mean, going through that sayang talaga. And at the same time, hindi lang yung basta na certification kasi. You know, all of our viewers there, this is not just a certification na parang, it's a cheerleading pin or whatsoever, no? It's a standard that we must attain already. Okay?
Yes.
No. And yun nga, our country is still catching up with the number of accredited coaches who can judge not only in the US but all over the world
Anywhere.
anywhere lalo na yun nga 'di ba Coach Biangs, what Clint told us before was you have to also get experience kasi from your experience that's where you will be able to really
Refine.
fine tune talaga yung
Oo.
judging mo kasi when you go to the big stage which yung ICU 'di ba iba na yan kumbaga diyan na yung mga fraction points na mangyayari na talagang suntukan kayo sa war room pag nagkataon. So you have to make sure that you really back up your di ba?
Yeah.
Back up your
Yeah.
Your
I
judging.
guess yun yung important no? I guess yung rational din. Just to, I guess, prove, if that's the right term, yung understanding mo of how things go. And actually, nung nag-usapan nyo nga, naalala ko lang din. Sa TikTok uso yun may nakita akong isang content creator, yung mga ranking ng mga ballpen. Or,
Ballpen?
ranking ng mga pamalo ni mama. Yung mga ganyan. Start small, guys. Pag-usapan nyo, tapos makita nyo, hanger, mag-practice kayo na. Ano ang ranking 1 to 10, pamalo ni mama. Marami, sobrang funny. Nilalaman na ako ng TikTok lately, kakanood. Yan, mga good place to start. Tapos tsaka kayo manood ng cheer routine. Tapos tsaka kayo mag-rank.
Pwede. Oo.
Correct.
Practice.
It's nice. First, you guys already level 2. So siguro hindi kayo makapag-judge ng actual cheer competition, but you have to, I guess, to keep up your para ma-training nyo and education nyo, you have to keep looking at routines, right?
Well, actually, di ba, kakasimula lang ng may mga ibang NDA and the NCA started competing
Right.
last month, di ba?
Right.
So we have to, get those videos on board. Siguro, tingnan namin on our free time, probably pwede namin makita. And of course, speaking of NDA, NCA, di ba? One of our own, si Rhino, nanalo siya. He is national champion together with Elsa Hassett. So, congratulations, Congratulations.
We removed. We showed a video about the stunt competition. You think we should bring that? You think we should bring that back? Just the stunt group for NCC? Or what do you think?
Nalala ko nung... Oo, kasi nalala ko nung sumali kami ni Andrew.
Mas malaki pa yung flyer kaysa sa base Mas matangkad pa Mas matangkad pa yung
Yung
flyer.
pinakamatangkad na flyer, pagtingin ko parang, naliit na lang lahat. Ang tangkad ko pala. Who knew?
2009 or 10?
2010.
So,
Okay,
should we bring out
Nine or 10?
partner stunts? Partner ba?
No, group stunts. Group. Kasi we took it out for convenience and then moving towards special levels.
Schedule. Maybe it's a separate thing, like a parang
What do you
fill
guys
oil
think?
to parang it's the fill oil to the UAAP. Parang pre-season.
So it's maybe think about another event, right?
Yeah.
Pag-isipan.
Yeah.
Summer stunt fest, diba?
Cute! Yan. Mga ganon.
Parang if we do a competition tas they can't get enough, ito pa, ganyan.
Mag-compete,
Judge, and then you judge. No, but I was just thinking about it because they still continue the stunts. But ICU doesn't have those divisions anymore.
Yeah, wala na. Puro na group, puro na big groups
So si Jigs, ginanahan, agree sa pre-season. Yeah. Yeah.
Gandahan nyo,
batchmate ni Bianca, ni Anya pala si Jigs.
Yeah. Batch lower, I think siya, but same.
Yeah.
Present ko nung
lots of things, no? So, but what I'd like to do is Anya, you have some exciting announcements about the 2021 nationals, right? I don't know what can we reveal tonight. This is the second episode. Last week we revealed that we're going to have nationals. I-play ko ulit para ma-excite.
Yeah.
Yan na.
Okay, so
Ayan.
last week we announced that we were going to have the 2021 nationals. But and then we said if you tune in to Pep Talk every week, we will start giving more clues as to how this is going to be conducted. And I think today Anya has some announcement that she's going to make tonight for all of you regarding the 2021 nationals. Okay, and
All right. So actually, guys, I mean, from the teaser itself, I hope you guys already have an idea of what it's gonna be like. I mean, considering everything. But as a teaser to what we'll reveal next. um, of course, meron pa rin tayong cheer and dance. Definitely.
Wow.
So we have
So it's
we'll
not just cheerleading.
No. It's cheer and dance. So, we
Okay.
have something
Pwede.
for both our cheerleaders and our dancers. And, syempre, there will be may group pa rin. But in terms of the
Wow.
quantity, yan, malalaman nyo soon. So, may group pa rin. Kaya, kung ako sa inyo, may the boat is sinking na kayo. Magtawag na kayo ng mga friends ninyo.
Alamin nyo na kung sino
Yeah.
yung mga nag-negative sa swab, bawal sila mag-compete. Or yung mga nag-positive sa swab,
Positive,
bawal sila
nag-positive.
mag-compete.
Yeah.
Right.
So, may group, but the quantity nga will reveal in a later episode. And there will also be pairs or duo. So, kung may,
Duo.
yes.
Wow.
So, kung may cheer bestie kayo, yan. Eto na. Time nyo na mag-video call everyday pag planuhin nyo na anong pwede ninyong gawin. But,
Nakakagana to.
in terms of I guess yung actual divisions will reveal more. Kasi syempre, it's gonna be an entirely different nationals talaga, guys. I mean, think of it as if we were starting NCC from scratch.
Yeah.
So, yun. But definitely may cheer and dance and we'll be having pairs and group. So, you'll find out how many kayo sa group for the 2021 nationals. Yay!
Wow, what a big announcement! What a big announcement! And it's exciting because right now we're going to see next week we're going to reveal, actually maybe we can reveal the actual divisions na.
Yes,
Pwede,
para at
pwede.
least
Diba?
alam na nila kung pasok sila in that category.
Kaya.
Yes,
Yep,
kasi nga
that's right.
whether it's pair or group. So Coach
Get
Lizzie, ano ba yung chance natin? We'll see, we'll find out.
We'll see. Kasi alam mo, no, for sure, there are a lot of teams na feeling ko buo na. Yung kaya nilang pang sumabak na ulit ng maramihan na. Pero wait lang guys, wait lang.
Wait lang.
Baka kailangan nating i-configure ng konti yan, no. So, chillax lang. May next week, no, yung episode 3 natin ng season 5 so Pep Talk. Ay nako. Abangan ninyo dahil maraming mga pasabog si Coach Anya and the rest of the NCC when it comes to announcing the 2021 finals.
Teaser. Ano ba yan?
Yeah,
yeah, go.
Yeah, yun talaga. I mean, sabi ko nga, 'di ba, at least for the entire NCC community, if you just knew how much time and effort that the NCC coaches have been putting into planning the 2021 nationals. Siguro kasi after 2020, parang hindi na kaya ng mga puso namin na walang 2021. Parang it cannot happen. So we needed to be resourceful. We needed to be more creative. so that we could bring something for you guys. Kasi at the end of the day, it's really about the community. It's all really about you, our cheerleaders and dancers, na ayaw naman namin na maput to waste all of those training days, all of the talent, all of the skills that you've acquired all these years. So we're
Oh,
putting together something that's really, really exciting for 2021. So we hope that you keep tuning in every week as we reveal more. Dahil, yun nga, promise, as in, literally, I'm telling you, we started from scratch. So imagine mo talaga parang NCC Season 1. Sa
yeah.
totoo lang.
It's it's a
It's all
whole new
over.
it's a
Yeah.
whole new ball game, right? So
Yep, but
and
it's super
and,
duper
and
exciting, I swear.
exciting, and it can baka manganak pa to, 'di ba? Later on, 'di ba? So all of sana lang more coaches join us next week, 'di ba?
Yeah.
More viewers para kasi pag mga 10 viewers lang sa live stream natin, wag na tayo mag-announce, 'di ba?
Yeah, so
Sayang.
please spread the word to watch the
Oo.
episodes kasi eventually when we reveal the divisions and then we
Mm.
discuss the rules, we discuss
Yes.
how you can register, we discuss how
Correct.
everything's gonna go after that. So eto na talaga yun, guys. So kailangan nyo na lang mag-abang. You just need to be extra patient with us kasi nga, yun nga, we're starting from scratch. But again, it's going to be super duper exciting and super duper worth it for you guys. Definitely. As
Yeah.
in, ito na yung chance nyo to have a competition. We're bringing it.
Right, you
Ito
know.
na yun.
All right. And Nako. Yeah, I don't want to reveal more. Sige. Next time. Sige. All right. So it's 9:30 already, and we want to thank of course, thank always our very good friend who's been with the NCC since the start. And who's been with us. He's now a level 2 judge and ICU judge and NCC judge and whatever. Very proud of her. Thank you, Bianca, for joining us tonight. Hope to see more of you soon. In person also. Diba? Let's get a beer. So thank you for joining us tonight, and thank you for congratulations for your certificate.
Yes,
And
Coach Ruben.
Beer is the only way to my heart. Alam niyo yan. So,
yeah, so before Lee J and Anya close the show, your last words to everybody and all your fans, especially Archie.
oh my gosh, I have fans. Hi, Coachy. Wala akong message. Like, thanks. Keep supporting NCC. Yun lang.
Okay, good. Lee J.
Yeah. Yun nga, guys. Once again, thank you, Coach Biancs, no, for guesting and for dropping by. I know we have a lot of more fun times to share soon, very soon, no. So,
Oh my gosh, let's get together.
so yun, kailangan talaga. But of course, yun nga, again, to all of our viewers here, no, please stay tuned with all of our announcements here in Pep Talk. I know all of you are very eager already to jump off your feet and keep the competition alive, no. But then, konting ano pa, konting plancha pa ng konti. But every now and then, we are now revealing all of the mechanics, all of the things that will happen this coming 2021. And thank you for watching. Coach Anya.
All right. So once again, thank you so much, Coach Bianca, for joining us and walking us through with ICU. We hope yung mga coaches and the cheerleaders who watched the show would be inspired with all of our tips on how you
Right.
could make your way to be an ICU judge. And yun nga, sabi nga ni Coach Lee J, make sure to tune in every Friday at 8 p.m. as we reveal more exciting announcements about the 2021 national finals. But for now, it's good night from all of us here at Pep Talk. Thanks, guys. Happy weekend.